Hello, ladies, and welcome. We are here for our live TLC workshop. This is self-care at home, everything Chinese medicine, anti-aging, Gua Sha. That's how I pronounced it right?
That's right.
Rollers, and we are here with Amrit. She's an acupuncturist in Toronto, but also does a lot of different workshops and trainings all over the world, including New York, California. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself, tell you more about who she is, and then we're gonna get right into the nitty-gritty of our face and body.
Hi, everyone. Like Vanessa said, my name is Amrit Singh. I'm a registered acupuncturist here in Toronto. I specialize in cosmetic acupuncture, and I've been practicing for 10 years. I run all my facial cosmetic stuff out of Six Spade Beauty. If you follow me on Instagram, there's always tutorials on there, updates on skin products, product reviews, everything like that. So today I wanted to talk about like the differences between like Gua Sha, cupping, face rolling. I feel like there's a lot of questions about that. The difference in like, why are some made of jade? Why are some made of rose quartz? We can go over like some of the movements, contraindications, how to clean your tools. But also I just really wanted this to be like a woman's hangout kind of thing, like as if we were just like all hanging out together in person. Remember what that feels like? And, you know, just hanging out, having tea or having wine and having drinks and talk about skincare and stuff. So yeah, at any point, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. That's what I'm here for. I feel like there's still a lot of confusion about these tools and how to use them. And I think a lot of that comes from people who like are just using them and showing how to use them because it's cool and trendy, and like not understanding that these tools are actually from Chinese medicine and have a history with being used for medicinal purposes and therapeutic purposes. So without that background, it's just a free-for-all, and that's why you see such a contraindication of technique and information. So I'm happy to help clarify any of that for you.
If you want it to be a hangout, ladies, if you want to put your video on, you're not going to be in the recording. So feel free to.
Oh my God, I would love to see people.
Yeah, we can actually see your face, and it's not just me and Amrit hanging out, but it totally cool. Obviously, like I'm in yoga pants, so don't worry. Oh,
I dressed up today like I was going to the office because I'm going to the office.
You are so cute. We also have some questions about microneedling.
Hi.
Hey, yes, hi.
And then if also your video's on, you can show me what tools you have. So some people are also confused because there's so many different shapes of Gua Sha and stuff like that. So I can like tell you which is what's good about that one, what's not so great about that one. Cool. I wouldn't necessarily say there's like one perfect tool. They all have good things and bad things about them.
Yeah, and I'd love to also, we have some questions coming in. If we can also chat about microneedling. And then we had a couple questions about fillers and Botox as well before. So if we can touch on those, that would be awesome. I have all of my tools here. So if you ladies have all your tools too.
Oh my God, your derma roller kit is
so many. I'm not.
Let me grab that if we're going to talk about that too.
Yeah. Well, you're my inspiration, Amrit. Amrit's skin is always glowing. If you see her and like look at her Instagram, it always looks perfect. So I'm trying to up my skin game.
I'm just going to bring my skincare cart over. Let me see if I can show this to you guys.
Oh my goodness. Wow. There you go.
I kept getting up to grab things. I'm like, I'll just wheel this little baby over here. Okay. So first things first, I want to talk about like kind of the background about skin and the aging process from a Chinese medicine and a more holistic practice. So let's go to share screen and we'll go to my ebook. Okay, you guys can see like this full clearly? Okay, cool. I'm gonna move this window over here. Great.
Can we download this ebook as well? Is this free?
When people buy tools, I send this to them.
Okay, awesome. Good to know.
Basically when the skin starts to age, a lot of people are just like, oh my God, it's just collagen. And that is one part of aging. So this right here is where all your collagen is in the dermis. This is like one of the thickest layers of your skin. And all these collagen and elastin fibers, they do weaken and they do decrease with age. Everyone's collagen decreases at different rates. So some people are like, 1% after 30, 2% after 30, 3% after 40. It does start to decrease after 30. I would say that that's a fair thing to say. But everyone, again, depending on your lifestyle, stress level, smoking, diet, and things like that makes a difference. But what the other thing about aging that people are forgetting is also repeated facial movements also kind of accelerates and accentuates your aging. So people who have a lot of like anger and frustration get a lot of the 11s here. And in Chinese medicine, we actually call those the liver lines, because the emotions of the liver are related to anger, frustration, and depression. So it's not to say that if you have those lines, you're an angry person, but you are showing your emotions through those muscles, and they are constantly furrowing this way, and then you get those lines. And that's why Gua Sha is so important. So what Gua Sha does, so this is my Gua Sha tool, and Gua Sha works by kind of undoing what you've done in the day. So I always say undo your day with Gua Sha. So let's say you're at your computer or you're at work all day and that kind of thing. That energy is going like this, right? You're focused on one thing on the screen. Everything's going this way. When the idea and energy of aging is everything should be like up and out. It's literally the exact opposite of like energy and tension and movement, if you will. So when you're using your Gua Sha, what's happening is you're releasing your fascia. And fascia is a saran wrap kind of material or fibrous kind of material in our bodies that wraps around every muscle, tendon, ligament, bone, and everything. It kind of helps to keep everything in place. A good analogy of what fascia is, and like I know this kind of sounds gross, and I'm sorry for any vegans in here, but when you kind of like see raw chicken and there's that very thin layer, it kind of grosses me out too, even though I'm not a vegan. That very thin layer on chicken, that's the fascia. And especially when you take the skin off and there's all that connective tissue, like that's the collagen and that's the fascia and stuff like that. So that's in us as well. And so what happens with the Gua Sha is like when you're doing that, let's say if you were doing it here, you're breaking all of that down because it's so used to going this way, and you're breaking down the holding pattern of it. So it's the loss of collagen and the elastin. You're breaking down the holding patterns, because if you're doing repeated facial movements, that's why you're getting lines in certain areas, right? So some people are like, why do I get forehead lines? Why do I get lines here so much? Like everyone ages differently depending on the way that they express themselves. And then the third thing, which I feel like a lot of people don't talk about, is this layer of skin, and it's the hypodermis, and it's loss of fat. So, you know, our society is still, I'd say, like this ridiculous, like fat phobia thing. And it's like, if you really think about it, when kids and when you're younger, a lot of glowing skin and plumpness of your face comes from the fat in your face. And there is a saying that like at a certain age, usually it's like 40 something, you choose your body. I don't like this saying, but it is a saying. You choose your body or your face. So are you going to keep working out and keep your fat percentage low? Then you're aging faster. Again, I don't like any of these things. I'm just talking about them because they come up in society and we have to address them. But the loss of fat is also what leads to aging. So I'll show you that here. There'll be a better picture. Oh, this is my old book. Hold on. I'm just going to have to look it up. Fat pads. Okay. Yes, this is the one I like. Are there any questions?
We can't see it yet, the fat pads. We still see the beauty.
Okay,
so right. To change the screen share.
Got it. Okay, so there's two layers of fat pads, but you can see this.
We can't see that. So unshare your screen and then reshare the different screen. Right now we still see that.
Got it. Okay, coming back.
Awesome. Yeah, we got that.
Okay, here, fat pads. So there are two layers of fat pads. We don't have to get into the technical part of it so much, but you can see, like, you would not think that you have fat pads around your eyes, right? And then your cheeks and everything. This is all really, really important. So when people get loss of volume around their eye and then they get under eye fillers, it's pretty much to replace this. And so why this makes a big role in aging is, can you still see me talking? Okay.
Yep.
When these fat pads start to lessen, you can see here, that's when you get deeper folds. So that's one other part of aging, right? There's wrinkles and then there's folds. So this type of aging, when this occurs, that's why people are getting fillers more so, because they're filling in this area to get voluminous cheeks again. But if you're doing your gua sha and you're rolling and you're doing cosmetic acupuncture, you're helping to keep this area of circulation up. You will slow down the process of losing fat. You will increase the process of collagen and elastin, which will keep everything holding, because the fat is also what's filling up the space. So as this starts to decrease, then everything, your skin is the same, but it's just falling. So it's really like a three. I'm gonna come back here. Stop share. It's really like a 3-layered effect with the aging, right? Collagen, elastin loss, lifestyle and stuff, and all that stuff, of course. And then also repeated facial movements, and then also the loss of fat. And that's why facial tools, derma rolling, microneedling, cosmetic acupuncture, and all that stuff is really important. Does that all make sense? Okay, cool. Okay, let's go over tools. If some people want to show their tools too, I'm happy to look at them. So you know what it is that I'm actually talking about. So this is my roller. It's my 6-Bay Beauty roller. Mine are made out of rose quartz. All the pieces are welded. They're not glued. I've been selling these for almost 2 years, and not one person has come back to me and said, my roller broke apart. Because I used to get, like years ago, like these ones, the jade ones, and like you can see the glue coming out of here, and they used to just break all the time. I just keep these for reference. And also they just feel like plastic. The reason I went with rose quartz is because, well, one, quartz is one of the most abundant minerals on the planet. So I knew they wouldn't have to like fake it. Jade is very expensive, and it's hard to tell what real jade is when you're buying it. Like this to me, there's no way this is real jade. This has to be a blend, or it's just plastic. And it's just the way that it feels and how transparent it is. This one I know is real jade because it's heavier and it's cooler to the touch. This just feels the same, like room temperature, but this feels cold. But it is natural to have different tones of color of jade. So yeah, this is a roller. You'll usually see dual-sided ones. This is for like the majority of your face, like your cheeks and everything like that. And the smaller end of the roller, I really love for the work around the eyes. Because when you use a gua sha is so good, like I talked about, for fascia and face toning and sculpting your face and everything like that. But it's not going to have the same effect around the eye, because aggressive isn't necessarily the right word, but it's a sculpting tool. And around the eye, there's not a lot of tissue in here. Like we saw the fat pad in here and we saw the fat pad here, but there's not like that much muscle once you get into the orbital ridge. This is all like empty. So the roller, right, which is round, and this area is all round and curved, this works better. And people's main issue with eyes anyways is dark circles under their eyes and eye puffiness. So you want to use a roller for that anyways. So that's what I like the dual-ended rollers better, and the small side for your eye. This is a derma roller, which is different than micro needling. So this is where like a lot of confusion comes in, and people ask me like, oh, do you do derma rolling or do you do micro needling? Sorry, they'll ask if I do micro needling, and I don't, because micro needling is done, well, it should be done by a medical esthetician, but anyone technically can do it. And that's like, has like a, like imagine if this was like the micro needling pen, and then they're like needles that are at the end of it, kind of like a tattoo, and they're pulsing. And so it's like, bzzz, and it's like breaking down the skin. So when I go back to my slides, I'll show you how cosmetic acupuncture works and why microneedling and acupuncture are like same, but different. So that's microneedling. It uses an electronic machine. Derma rolling is something like this. And this has like 540 stainless steel needles on it. And you're using this on your skin to help break down, to help stimulate collagen to the face, which is how cosmetic acupuncture works. This is another one that I have as well. So this is more common shape. This was a sample that was sent to me. Just showing you different ones. And then there's also
I don't know if you're going to get into this, but with the derma roller, I know you've said before to be careful not to do it after you shower.
Yes, that's right. I have we'll go over contraindications, but we can just do it now. Yeah, you shouldn't be using anything with needles or anything aggressive after you shower because your skin is damp and your skin is more sensitive to tears. And if you're not using a good quality derma roller, or just in general, your skin will be more prone to tearing, and like you're putting needles in your face and rolling. So it's one thing to put needles in, and then it's another thing to have movement with them as well. Yeah, so your skin, you know, it's more susceptible. You can tell it's like thin. And then the last tool are facial cups. I don't use facial cups as much. I wouldn't use this as like a daily thing the way I think Gua Sha is the best. And then runner up would be roller, and then face cups, nice to do. I would do no more than once a week if you were doing a whole thing. I would never do face cups regularly, and that's just because it does stretch the skin a little bit, and it is hard to control the pressure. And I feel like if people are doing this at home a lot, they're going to end up getting like the bruises on your face. These cups are different than cups you would use on the body if anyone's ever had like body cupping. The point is to not have marks, but you know, if people are doing it at home and they're not familiar with it, it'll end up happening. But it is good, especially if you have tension in the jaw area. So
what's the difference? Can we go back to your Gua Sha tool? What's the difference between your shape and like this shape that I have here?
Yeah, so I went with this shape because for me, I'm really big on angles of the face. So I really wanted to work on my jaw. And so I love that this hugs the jaw. And then you can use, and then this end has like a slight curve. So I can still get in here and scoop upwards and get the cheek lift. And then the edging, because I made mine really thin because these were ones that like I based it off of before I like kind of thought of the shape that I wanted for myself. Might be hard to see, but like I went really thin and I went smaller, so it was easier to hold and manipulate in your hands. So this is what I saw, and I'm like, I don't like this. This is too big, and it's heavy, and it just, I don't know, it didn't feel good. So I wanted something thinner so that you could still use this as acupressure points. So on my Instagram, like on my feed, I did a desk Gua Sha tutorial, and you can use this edge and like go in here, which is good for lower back pain and also helps like open and brighten up the eyes. Like again, that whole idea of going like this all the time with our computers. The other thing, so that one that you have, you could use, it's like this shape, right? Is it again? Yeah, the bottom end of it you could use for like the acupressure part. It's curved a lot, so it's also good for the cheek lifting. But like and you could use the little wave part for the jaw part, but it's not gonna like hug the same way. But it's still good. Yeah, I think that one also, I've tried that one. I think it also feels big, like in your hand.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, the shape is pretty good because it curves, so I can hold it really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is pretty big.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
The big ones that I like have multiple sides to it, like this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so this one has like a comb on it. So I would say for me, like this was my favorite tool. And I'd say this is the only thing that's missing from it. But stay tuned. When things open up in the world again, we'll see what happens. Yeah.
If you want to put in the chat too which tools you currently have and or you want to try, because then we'll know a little bit more if you have any questions about your specific tools, and then we can talk about how we use them.
Yeah, if anyone wants to show their tools now, I can. Were there any What was the microneedling question? Did I answer it?
Let me see. What's the difference between acupuncture and microneedling?
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll go into that next, but I just want to see if it's a easier, less in-depth question. I can answer it quickly. I think everyone's okay.
Yeah, we don't have any questions coming in yet, but keep them coming.
Okay.
Would love descriptions on how to use the roller and the gua sha. Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go back to share screen.
Is it fair to say that all of the tools you're almost using in the same way because you're going up and out?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything anti-aging is always going to be up and out unless you're using your roller or gua sha to help with lymphatic drainage.
Neck. Yeah.
And that is when you're going down, but you're only going downwards in this area because your lymph nodes are here. I'll show a picture of that soon. And so like that drains out into here. So it's only this area. Like in the front of the neck, you're not going to go down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see here. Going back to this picture, and I'm going to talk about the difference of cosmetic acupuncture, microneedling here. So what happens when you do cosmetic acupuncture is we're putting the needle in. So this, you can see my cursor, right? Okay. The needle's going into the dermis layer here. So it's creating a micro trauma, and that is stimulating the body to send red blood cells, white blood cells, and collagen to the area because it's understanding the needle going into the body as like a foreign substance. So it gets triggered. It's like something's come in the body. What is this? Send the troops. Go check this out. And the white blood cells are going into the area and the red blood cells are going in and they're checking everything out. And then when you take the needle out, the body also registers there's like a hole in the ship kind of thing. Like there's a problem here, guys. We need to repair this, right? Because our skin is our protective barrier. All beauty aside, our skin is our protective barrier from our outside world to our inside world. And there cannot be any openings. That's why the body, whenever you puncture your skin in any way, you scrape it or something happens, the body rushes to that area and you get an inflammatory response. And that's a healing response. So when you take the needle out, the body is sending something there to close that hole, even though it's not really like a hole per se, like something you could see. It's a micro, like a really small little hole from the acupuncture needle. But what's happening is that's the collagen coming up to close it. Collagen is the most abundant protein in your skin, and that's how we're naturally stimulating collagen to your skin through cosmetic acupuncture. Does that make sense? So when it comes to microneedling and the difference between cosmetic acupuncture, it's the same in that they're creating a trauma to the skin and stimulating collagen to the area. The difference being, one, like I said, the microneedling is like an electronic machine that's like gliding up against the skin. And then cosmetic acupuncture, of course, is a more of a static thing where the needle is going in one place and it stays in, and it stays in for about 20, 25 minutes. Cosmetic acupuncture is more holistic because we're still doing body points. It's never just the face. And that's really important because there are some clinics in Toronto, and I've had patients come in and they're like, oh, you're going to do cosmetic acupuncture. Why do I have to like get changed? And I'm like, oh, we're doing body points too. Like we still go through your health history and everything. They're like, oh, like they didn't know that, because if they've gotten cosmetic acupuncture before, they're only getting their face done. And this is what I mean about people doing cosmetic acupuncture or showing rolling and gua sha without the Chinese medicine background is actually not healthy for you to only have needles in your face and none in your body. It brings all the energy up and it has nothing grounding for you. So people get headaches, migraines, high blood pressure, low blood pressure, anxiety. It's bringing everything up here and there's nothing to ground your energy or to even work on any of your internal systems. Like there's so many beautiful things we can do with acupuncture. And there are points on the body, even if nothing's wrong with somebody, that I'm using that's gonna support their skin. reducing inflammation, improving their immune system, improving their digestive system. Because the acupuncture on the acupuncture points on the face, a lot of that ones that we use for cosmetic acupuncture are the digestion meridians, which are the stomach meridian and the large intestine meridian. So I need to work on that on the body too to help it show on the face. So that's the difference between microneedling. I'd say it's a little bit more aggressive. Obviously, they need to use numbing cream. That's not to say it's bad. That's not to say it doesn't work. It certainly does. I personally wouldn't get it done because I'm scared, but I don't have anything against it at all. And I don't think I could administer it to somebody because I feel like it looks painful, and I feel like I would have a hard time doing something to someone that's painful. But I do think it's a great service. It doesn't have the holistic part of it. And that's what I would say about the differences with those two.
If you're using the micro, like the derma roller, how often should you be using that?
Yeah, so I wouldn't use that more than once a week.
Okay. Yeah. So cupping and derma roller once a week, but Gua Sha and other roller you can use every day.
Yeah, but you don't want to be using all of those things. You kind of like pick and choose. So your body gets used to things, right? So you don't want to, like, even for me, if I'm going to do Gua Sha 3 times a week, let's say I'm going to do it every day, I'm not going to do the full routine every day. I'm going to do like on a day like today where I'm going to be on my computer a lot, I might do the full routine. And tomorrow maybe I'll be on my computer for a couple hours. I might just quickly do my eyes, like in between my eyebrows here and around my eyes really quickly after my skincare routine, and go to bed, and that's it. It's just to release what kind of happened in the day. But I'm not going to do like the full routine every day for like 3 months straight, because your body's just going to get used to it and not react in the same way. You have to like shock your body in a way for things. It's the same thing with like supplements and stuff. You don't want to keep taking the same ones all the time. It's good to take a break and then come back. Yeah, so I wouldn't do like derma rolling once a week, cupping once a week, Gua Sha here, like just break it up. But it's nice to do something, one thing a day for your skin, if that helps. It doesn't have to be the full routine. You could also do rolling in the morning when you wake up, because usually that's when people's eyes are puffy, and you could do Gua Sha at nighttime, and that helps you keep a routine together, but you're not like overdoing it. Okay. So skin, collagen, elastin. Okay, cool. So with Gua Sha, a lot of people are also like, what is it and what does it do? So Gua Sha is a tool that is from Chinese medicine, and it's more used, like known, I think now for beauty, but it is something that was used for thousands of years to actually help release muscle tension. So like people, when it gets translated, it's actually called scraping. And if you ever looked online, like on Google Images, and you looked at Gua Sha, like you would see like almost like tiger stripes of like redness on people's backs, like along their ribs and stuff. And that's to just get the blood circulation. But when we use it for beauty, what's happening is these layers in here, these are the layers of your face. So here's your skin. Here's the SMAS layer. This is the layer that we're working with. We don't have to like get into the technicality of everything, but that is basically the thickest and the most, the layer that has the most amount of connective tissue. And if you remember me talking about fascia and things like that, that's what your Gua Sha is manipulating. So you're basically training your face to sit a certain way and to hold in a certain way. That's why I like to do Gua Sha at nighttime. It's the last thing you do before you go to sleep. So you do your skincare routine, you kind of like shape and mold your face, and you go to bed. No phone, nothing like that. Because the phone in bed like this, same thing again, is that direction, and it's even worse actually because it's like so close to you. And like if you're reading something that bothers you, you might be like again furrowing your brow and you just undid everything. So like doing Gua Sha in the morning and then like going throughout your day, what's the point kind of, because you're just going to do all your facial movements and everything, and you're just going to undo it, all of your hard work. Okay. And so here,
And how
and
long
then
will you be doing the gua sha for? I know you said like you change up your routine, but what does that look like?
yeah, so I usually have like I've had three. So like one, the really quick one would be like, oh, I'm lazy tonight, but I can feel that there's a lot of tension here. And then I'm just gonna do like not even 2 minutes, just eyes. And then there's like a medium one where I'm just doing my face. And that's very similar to the desk gua sha one, and that's on my Instagram. And then the full one, which I am going to upload once I figure out how to do all that stuff, because I just finally started an Instagram TV thing, is when I'm doing like the chest and the neck and everything, like the whole full thing. So I don't do that whole thing like all the time. So I'd say the full one is about maybe like 7 or 8 minutes. And then my medium one is only like maybe 3 to 4 minutes. And then the like eye one is maybe like 2 minutes. It's not a long thing. That's why it's so nice. Yeah. This is your lymphatic system in your face. And that's why I said when you're doing it on the neck, the only time you're going downwards on the neck is from like here down, because that's where your lymphatic system lies. You have your SCM muscle. If you turn, you'll be able to grab it faster. If you don't know your anatomy, you'll see it come out like this. And it all lies in front here and comes down here. That's where you would be going downwards. And when you work on your lymphatic system, it's like really gentle going downwards like this. It's not swiping downwards. The lymphatic system that is throughout your whole body, it doesn't have a pump the same way your circulatory system does. So the heart is the pump for the circulatory system, and it's pumping the blood and moving everything for you. The problem with the lymphatic system, it doesn't have a pump, and it's collecting all this garbage from our body. And unless you're moving and exercising, it doesn't have a way to get out of your body and keep moving, and things collect. So this does relate to acne. This relates to a lot of health problems. So when you want to work on your lymphatic system, the motion of that is like this. If you've ever had a lymphatic drainage massage from like a massage therapist or something, a lot of what they're doing is just like pumping downwards like this, like their hand becomes the pump for you. And so that's what the gua sha board becomes when you're doing it. And that's why I also like rolling, because you don't want to press hard with rolling anyway, but rolling like this downwards is much more gentle.
Can you talk more about pressure? We do have a question about pressure. How hard, how soft should you be doing all of these things?
Yeah. So around the eyes, anything you're doing around your eyes is always going to be light. Anything you're doing, cheeks, jaw, forehead, medium to like heavy pressure. Heavy being like it's hard to like kind of like explain it too much, but heavy being you just don't want to be leaving marks. So if you're starting to see like little red dots, that's like petechia, broken blood vessels, you're going too hard. You want to see some redness though. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then jaw is the same. And then again on the neck and everywhere here is like light to medium.
Cool. Yeah. Can we do a little demo of how to use it or what those strokes look like then?
Yeah. For gua sha, for rolling?
Yeah. Are they the same?
Not really. So we'll go over both really quick. Okay. I'm wearing makeup, so I'm not really going to be doing like the whole thing because I thought we were just going to be talking today, but I'm happy.
We can check out your Instagram too after.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so if you wanted to do, like, let me show you like how I can show you pressure on the cheek, because that's probably one I feel like that people don't understand as much. You're going to like hold your gua sha here in the angle. You want to be using 2 hands. And another thing that I also talk about is like you should be having like a 90-degree in your underarm. So a lot of people are doing gua sha like this or anything in their face because they're concentrating, but like you've just closed off everything here. And you want to be open chest. The lung channel in the Chinese meridian starts here, and the lung relates to the skin. You want to keep this all open and circulating. That's why in like Tai Chi and Qigong, well, you can't really see my arms, but the position is like this. Meditation, the position's like this. This is all open and flowing. So you want to keep that same angle, but you're bringing your arms up to your face. So you're going like this and you're dragging. So now you can see in here how much my cheek is resting in there, and you're dragging up and out like this. So if I was going too light, it would look like this. That's light. That's not doing anything. This, now you can see I have something in there, and pulling it out is doing something. Same thing with the jaw. You want to have your gua sha, so it's not this, right? This is like a 90-degree angle. It's not this. It's like this. You're only going to have like, it's not even 45. It's maybe like 30 degrees, and you're angling up. And two hands. One hand should be bracing your skin, and one hand is going outwards. And this is to help stabilize. Because what's happening here, I have fat here, I have muscle, I have fascia, so I want to hold and go out. And I just want to show you something really quick. These 3 points in Chinese medicine in front of the ear here are very, very important. I call this home base. Anything you're doing, gua sha, roller, or anything from the eye down should always be coming to this point. So anything from here should always be coming up here. And when you study facelifts, the main incision, that's how you tell if someone also has had a facelift, the main incision is in front of the ear. This is a major anti-aging area. So in cosmetic acupuncture, it's also very important. So you're going up and you're bringing it up to this area again. You're going up and stopping in front of the ear again. And then on the forehead, so there's less tissue here, of course, right? Like you can feel your skull and your bone. When you're going across this way, same thing, two hands. You'll get more red on the forehead faster than you would anywhere else. And this is one technique that I call this feathering technique also. I do, you'll see me do this on Instagram all the time. So when I'm saying I do 2 minutes on my eyes, I'm literally like in my mirror going like this. And it's very detailed work. And I'm just, it's almost like you're painting, and I'm going under the orbital bone. I can still feel all this crunchiness, and I'm going all the way across. Both sides, obviously. And you're never doing back and forth. I see this on Instagram all the time, and it makes me cringe. Everything is one lift back. It's never back and forth with anything you do. It's again, everything with anti-aging is up and out. So why would you go like this, like this? Doesn't really make any sense. Does that all make sense though?
Yeah, that makes sense. For the forehead, can you also then go up instead of across?
Yep. So that's also on my tutorials too. So again, why I like this, or what if you have a gua sha that has like the comb part, you shouldn't forget about the back of the neck, the front of the neck, and the scalp. I also feel like when people are talking about gua sha, they're only thinking about this because they're thinking about beauty, and that's how beauty is defined, is like this part of your face, which I think is just weird. But anything that has like kind of like edges, like Vanessa, yours too, you can just straight away go into the scalp like this, because you have your frontalis muscle coming down like this. There's a huge band of fascia here, which is why a lot of people get headaches, and you can just go straight into the scalp. And it's like you're combing or brushing your hair with your gua sha. You will feel tingling if you do this like right away. And here you can do harder pressure because the skin is thicker on the scalp. So yeah, you can go like
pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Do you ladies have any other questions about these techniques? And then what about the eye, the under eye?
Yeah, so under eye, I don't use my gua sha under eye. I've seen people do it. If you only have a gua sha, I'll show you. So you're gonna hold, And you're just gonna like gently slide your gua sha along.
Because
And
I know
you'll see,
there's crunching down here too.
yeah, so I still wouldn't be you could do it on the bone, but
Yeah.
like you could be prone to bruising there,
Mm.
right? You're just gliding your gua sha across, but when you see me doing it with the roller, you'll see why it's so much better. Small end of the roller, because also you can get into the contour of your eye here. So if you get puffy eyes, you can run this under cold water. You can also just like lift a little bit, get in here, and roll outwards. And then the same thing for under the eye. Like you can also run this under cold water and then just like hold it here. And then you just like walk it across. I've done this. If I don't drink enough water, I get puffy eyes. But I've been pretty good with water because I'm at home. And then the same thing. So it's really gentle. Like you can just see I'm resting. I'm not pressing. And a good way to like prevent you from putting too much pressure around your eye is holding the roller more on the outside of the roller. Instead of being like this, you're going to end up putting more pressure. But if your hand is more out here, you're just going to end up resting it more because you kind of have less control a little bit. So by chance, it's just the way that it's going to work out.
Let's chat. If people have acne, rosacea, what are some of the best tools to help with that?
Yeah, so contraindications for gua sha and rolling: Botox filler 4 weeks, acne as well. And the reason being is you don't want to spread the bacteria from any of your acne anywhere else on the face. If you had, let's say, like, there are some people who talk about this, like if you had like one big like zit breakout here, and some people kind of like just gua sha around it, because what's happening is there's this buildup under the skin, so they're trying to like break down the fluid this way. Personally, I wouldn't even use that. I would use I would get these Cosmetic acne patches. I have a lot of these. These are Korean, and they're hydrocolloid dressing. So what happens is you put, I'm not going to open one, but like you'll see it's in its package. They're sheer, so I don't know if you'll see the little circles.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit you can see.
And you just put it over the acne, and like it helps heal your acne so fast, it's out of control. I actually have a video about that as well, and showed what came out from like not even 24 hours wearing one.
And what about like the rosacea or that like surface little whitehead or blackheads? Is it the same thing because you can spread that, or how does that happen?
Whiteheads, yes, you can spread them, and it's going to be painful anyways, so you won't even want to do it. Blackheads are deeper. I don't recommend rolling, or like at that point you just need a facial because there's so much congestion. So it's not going to like help you with your blackheads. You have to get them out, and then you have to get to the underlying concern about why you're getting the blackheads and stuff. And this was something I wanted to talk about, so I'll just quickly do it now. In Chinese medicine, the foods that cause problems with skin, everyone's different. And this goes into the rosacea as well. Spicy foods. I have patients who come in and I can tell right away by the way they're responding from the gua sha, from the needles. I'm like, you had spicy food last night. Wow. It creates an internal heat in the body, and it creates more redness in the skin. So you can do gua sha and rolling with rosacea. It depends how far you are down the scale. If you have the rosacea where you have the broken blood vessels and it's almost like spider veins, then no. If it's just like, oh, I get a little bit of red, it's mild rosacea, then yeah, it's okay. And then I would just monitor it. Spicy foods, damp foods, which is something we have in Chinese medicine and not talked about in the Western side of things. And those are foods like dairy, wheat, sugar, fried foods, ice cream, things like that. They create congestion. They create congestion in the lymphatic system. They thicken your mucous membranes. basically, if you pictured your energy moving through like a clear stream, that is the most ideal thing. When you have those damp foods, that clear stream turns into a swamp, and it makes the energy slow to move. That's why you see it in kids all the time. Like, they're fine, and then they drink milk and their saliva gets like super thick, and they're like talking, they get these saliva strands. It's like the mucus, the saliva, everything is just thickened up from it. And that is the opposite of what you want. So that slow, sluggish feeling is happening for a reason, and it comes from those foods. So it also creates congestion in the skin and aging because it's heavy. Anything heavy is going to bring something downwards when everything we want is to go up and out. So those are really, really, really important things. And boosting your immune system is more of a Japanese, what I learned from my teacher who's Japanese here, and what I learned in Japan is boosting your immune system is so important for your skin. And that is a big way how I got over my acne, was because I had so much lymphatic congestion and I had swollen tonsils all the time. And it wasn't until I stopped eating late, and I would overeat all the time because I wouldn't eat all day, and then I would eat everything at like 11 o'clock at night because I worked late all the time. I was congesting my digestive system and my lymphatic system, and I was getting sick. So we worked on my immune system, and a lot of acne too is like it's bacteria. So having a strong immune system to help eat away at that bacteria slowly and slowly helps a lot. And that's what cosmetic acupuncture is doing, because you're stimulating blood flow. The white blood cells come there and they help to like eat away at all that bacteria too. It's so layered, but it definitely helps in so many ways. Diet, I think, is such a big thing.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Can you chat quickly about fillers, Botox? Are they good for you? Is it toxic within your body? I mean, from an Eastern medicine.
Anything foreign is not good for you, right? So it depends like how far you want to take it. So like my Japanese teacher is very strict. So when I studied with him, I used to have my eyebrow pierced, and I used to have another one in my ear. And he's just like, you have to take that out. And I was just like, well, why? Everybody said that, but nobody explained to me. And he explained foreign substances, it's metal, it's attracting energy. You can't control if it's positive or negative energy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, cool, I took it out. And it did help actually, which was really interesting. Botox filler is a foreign substance. Botox freezes your muscle. It's a paralysis product. And so what happens is your muscles will stop moving. So yes, you're not going to make the face muscles, so you're not going to get the lines as much, but your muscles will get weak. I'm already starting to get patients now who started in their 30s and now they're in their 40s. Her plan got disrupted now because we had to stop with everything that's going on. But her medical doctor did her Botox, and she said, I can't keep doing this on you. We have to stop, because if I do any more, your muscles are just like, your face is going to just fall, because she did so much since she was 30. And now she can only come and see me. Like, this is all she can do now. So I think people have free will. They can do what they want. I don't judge anybody for doing it. It's their body. Of course, my wish is that no one was doing that kind of stuff, because they are toxins. They are foreign substances. Yeah, that's my opinion on it.
No, it's good to know, because I think now with all the information out there, people don't really realize they have alternatives. So it's nice to see all of these different options. A couple more questions that were in here that I want to make sure we get. With the neck and lymphatic, do you do top down, bottom up? What order do you do the lymphatic and face?
Yeah, top down.
Okay, great. Any other questions that we missed here? I know we talked about pressure, microneedling, acupuncture. I mean, I think we've gotten most of it. Just a clarification, when you're doing the eyes, is that for wrinkles or for drainage?
Puffy eye.
Puffy eyes. Okay.
Yeah. I like crow's feet. The best thing you could do is cosmetic acupuncture or derma rolling. Gua Sha is not going to take away crow's feet. It's too thin. And eye cream, of course.
Yeah. And when you're derma rollering around the eye, how do you maneuver that?
You don't go into the orbital ridge. The orbital ridge is anything within this bone. So you don't go in here. You can only go on the bone.
Okay.
This is the closest area you can go.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, we have so much info here. There's lots to do. I'm sure if you ladies don't have your tools, I'm sure you'll be on Amazon this afternoon. But can you repeat again where people can find you? I know you're working on some online courses and you do live courses as well when people can come see you and or see you one-on-one. So if you can give all that information so people can reach out and ask any other questions, that would be awesome.
For sure. So you can follow me on Instagram, 6Babe Beauty, number 6 Babe Beauty. You'll get the most amount of updates on there. There's a lot of information on my highlights, tutorials, more coming in my Instagram feed, so it's easier to find as well. Gua Sha tools and the roller and my face oil that you can use for Gua Sha, that's all on my store, which is 6babebeauty.com. In terms of like one-on-one services right now, we're not allowed to be practicing acupuncture. I think apparently it's supposed to be for the next 3 months, but I am going to be doing like an online, like I've done my Gua Sha masterclass in like LA and Miami and New York and Toronto, of course. So I'm just going to move that online because people have been asking me to do it for so long, and I'm going to do that, and then one-on-one tutorials as well. So that's all going to start happening. So just look out for that on Instagram.
Cool. Awesome. So I'll send all of that information out in an email, follow up to everyone who registered, and then I will send you the link once it's up.
Perfect.
Cool. Alrighty. Thanks so much. Thank you for being here, ladies. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Thanks, Christine.
Bye. Thank you.
Alrighty. Awesome. We will see you soon then. Thanks, Amrit.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you.